This video will step through the process of sewing a dog collar bandana, which later you can put HTV on if you would like. Once you cut out your pattern with your fabric, either by using the maker or doing it traditionally, this is the right side of the fabric and this is the wrong side. We're going to turn it over so that we have the wrong side facing up. And I'm going to take a gauge and I'm going to set it to 1/2 inch. See, this thing moves back and forth. Now I'm going to fold this over and measure 1/2 inch. You can hold it down and you can do the other side as well. And once I do that, you should press this seam. You should use an iron, but I have my easy press here, so I'm just going to do it with my easy press. And now what I want to do is fold this halfway. So I'm just going to put that inside, and this is the same press line that we had before. Once again, I'm just going to hold it down and press it. Okay. Once I do that, I'm going to turn it around. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side so it's even. By measuring, when you line up the bandana, it'll be even. Now what we'll do is we're going to stitch a line on both of these sides to hold this down. Okay, my machine is already turned on. Your machine is going to be different, so I'm not going to go over settings on the machine. Mine happens to be an old Viking one that I've had forever. Great machine. But I'm going to adjust my stitching and move this over to the right side because I'm going to use this line here for the edge of my fabric. You can figure out ways of doing it your own way. You can even take tape and put tape down here and then use it to guide the edge of the fabric. So I'm just going to do a straight stitch. Now if yours doesn't do a tie off, you can backtrack by just reversing the direction and coming forward again. And when you're first starting out, just go slow and try to keep your seams as straight as possible. Of course, I have a cut, but if I didn't have a cut feature, I would just reverse direction and come back again and then cut it. So there I have my first seam. And we do this so that the collar can go in and out without catching on that edge. So we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we have our edges. Okay, now that we have this stitched, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and we're going to fold it right sides together. So we're just going to fold it right in half, put the points together and the edges on the corner together. And because we measured, it lines up just about perfectly. Okay, now this fabric is flannel, so it's very sticky. But if you needed to hold it together, you could pin it like this all the way around and then just remove the pins as you're sewing. But I don't really need that with this. Now, when we're sewing, we're going to sew a quarter of an inch in all the way down here, and then we're going to turn and we're going to go back up here. So to make it easy, you can just draw a line with the washable Cricut marker like this, so we know exactly where to turn. So once again, I'm going to put it over here because I've already pre-measured. Now my machine automatically lifts when I stop. Get down there. So I can just spin it right around. And to make this a little stronger, I'm actually going to backtrack like that and then cut it. Okay, so you can see that we stitched all the way down and we turned at that corner. And because this is a woven fabric that can unravel, what I'm going to do is do a stitch that zigzags back and forth so that it prevents it from unraveling. You can also use pinking shears, which are scissors that have that pattern built in, but I'm just going to do it on the machine. And then I'm just going to do the same direction. And that's going to stop it from unraveling. You can also use pinking shears, which are scissors that will do this. So it's up to you. Now, to make it easy to turn this inside out and make the point at the end, I'm going to clip it across. So when I get down here, I'm going to slow down a little bit. And I'm going to turn it early. And then I'm going to let it sew this way. Lift that up so it settles. And now I can just continue. Now what I'll do is trim all of the threads, and to make it easier to get this point to push all the way out when we turn this right side out, I'm just going to clip this edge. And now this is actually the Cricut scoring tool is actually really good for pushing this point out. So the edges both have an opening. So I'm just going to push it through with my fingers. And you can start pulling it from the other side. I'm going to do top stitching. I want to press this so it's nice and flat. I'm not going to press this edge because I like it rounded over the collar. I'm just going to press like this. And now I'm going to do top stitching along the top. Okay, I'm now going to switch back to the straight stitch on the right hand side. And I'm going to use my same line. I think I'm going to go from this line right here. Oh. And I'm not going to mark this because I don't want to wash the material again, but I'm going to stop here. If you feel like you need to, you can make a little dot, like right like that. I wouldn't do a whole line though, because you can try to hide it with the stitching. And I'm just going to backtrack to make it a little stronger, because the dog's collar. I'm going to work towards down there. You can also, if you don't, you're concerned about missing that point where you want to turn, you can also use your hand wheel to do it slowly, but then I would have to lift my press-a-foot manually. Oh, and I guess I could do one more. So I'm going to lower that back down. A bit more. There. Okay. So now I'm just going to go up the other side. once again, I'm going to backtrack and tie it off. Okay. And we have our finished bandana. And if you like, you can decorate it with HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl.